Measure Geeks! In this video, we will learn how to set up TikTok tracking with dynamic values. Let's dive into it. I assume you already have your Google Tag Manager installed on your website, as well as your TikTok pixel implemented via Google Tag Manager. And we did it together in the first video about TikTok tracking. You remember that this is our base pixel, our foundation. And now we can add events. If you do not know how to set it up, I recommend checking the previous tutorial. And now it's time to add the dynamic values. Sounds pretty exciting, right? What do I mean by that? So here you can see my website, and I have multiple products and they have different prices. And your clients might also buy a different number of products. And we cannot simply track those values statically. We want to optimize our campaigns, and this is why we want to send some additional information that describes our products better. How is it doable technically? I always say that we should begin with documentation. So let's go to the TikTok documentation, and this is where you can find the information about standard events. We have a list of those events. For example, I want to track an add to cart event. Here you can see add to cart, and this event should fire when a visitor adds an item to the cart. And we can also send some parameters additionally, and these are exactly the data points that describe our event better, such as content type, quantity, description, content ID, currency, and value. And if we click here, setting up dynamic values with custom code, here you can see an example of the snippet of code that should be installed, right? And we have the content ID, content name dress, but instead of dress, you should have the name of your product, same for ID and other values here. And this is usually done by a developer, because this must be installed in the source code. But today, I want to show you a workaround so that you could set it up on your own. And many businesses are using GA4 and have e-commerce tracking implemented. And we can reuse the GA4 data layer to send events to TikTok. Yeah, it is doable. It might be getting confusing, but stay with me, we're getting there. So a data layer is a JavaScript object that passes the information from your website to the Google Tag Manager. And let's have a look at an example. It is related to books, for example, book category fiction, book title, book author. In our case, we should have the information related to our items. This little guy lives in the background, and it is impossible to see anything directly on the website. So this little helper does everything behind the scenes and passes the data to the Google Tag Manager. And with its help, we can set up our tracking. So the data layer is implemented also usually by the developer, or this could be done with the help of a plugin, which is my case. If you have GA4 e-commerce tracking implemented, you should also have your data layer in place. Let's have a look at it together. So again, I'm using a plugin to set up my e-commerce tracking. Let's go to the Tag Manager and let's click Preview. And we should provide the URL of our website. Let's click Connect. And what do we have to do? Yeah, we have to make a test purchase. So let's add this beanie to cart, and we cart, and let's proceed to checkout. And here we go. Let's go to our tag assistant and let's see what happens. And you can see the purchase event, and it fires when someone makes a purchase. And if we have a look, there is a data layer, and this is exactly our GA4 data layer, and we can reuse it. So let's go to the Tag Manager and let's have a look. You remember that last time we also added a TikTok template, and we will use it again to set up our event. If you don't remember how to do it, please check the previous tutorial. Let's click New, Tag Configuration, and we should look for our TikTok pixel. And this is where you should provide the pixel ID. If we go to Events Manager, you can find it under Tools, Events. I will show you the whole way again. Here we have Web Events, so click Manage. And this is where you can find your pixel, and we can copy this ID right here. And let's go to the Tag Manager and paste it. We want to track a purchase, so this is why the name of the event is Complete Payment. So you can select the name of the event, for example, Add to Cart or any other event. In our case, we want to track purchases. Here we also have advanced matching configurations. With advanced matching, you can send hash customer information along with your pixel events, which can help you attribute more conversions and reach more people. But we will not cover this step in this tutorial. So this template is smart enough to understand that this is the GA4 data layer, and it can translate those values into the correct format. So TikTok will automatically collect those parameters. This is why we click Object Properties, and we have this option, Use Google Analytics e-commerce data layers. Let's mark this one. Just a note here, you can still see the terms related to universal analytics. Yeah, so we have enhanced e-commerce and standard e-commerce, but if I click on this link right here, I get redirected to the official GA4 documentation. I'm not showing the solution for the universal analytics, although this should also work with the UA enhanced e-commerce. But UA is sunset. Time to say goodbye to universal analytics. And this is why we're focusing on GA4 only. Don't be surprised if they also change this template. Probably we will see one option in the future, or maybe the third option included, such as GA4 e-commerce, or they will simply leave it this way. We will see. I'm also curious. There is one more setting that we should check. If we go to Advanced Settings, here we can find something called Tag Sequencing. There is a German proverb that says Ordnung muss sein, so the order is important, and we have to make sure that our tags fire in the correct order. So we always want the base, the foundation fire first, and then our event should come. So this is why we'll go to Tag Sequencing, and we'll select the option Fire a Tag, and we can select a tag, and we will select our all pages TikTok. So this is our foundation, and this is it. Great. And now we go to Trigger, and this is where we provide the condition. When should our tag fire? And you remember we made a test purchase, and this was exactly the event purchase. If you're lazy, you can even copy it. And let's go back to the tag manager, and we add a new trigger, and we look for which trigger type. This should be custom event. And let's paste our name, purchase. We also should provide a name to our trigger. Let's save our trigger. And now we should also provide a name to our tag. Great. So let's save this one. And one more setting to double check, because we're using the sequencing. When you go to the base pixel, make sure that here you have the option once per page to ensure that everything works correctly. Now it's time to test our implementation. Great. So let's click Preview. And we have to make a test purchase again, but before we do it, so remember the last time I showed you how you can verify your implementation with a pixel helper, but this time I want to show you how you can do it directly with the TikTok Ads Manager. So if we go to our base pixel, here we have the option Test Events, because we want to test our event. We have to enter our website URL. So where is my website? I will simply copy it and paste it there. And then we click Generate QR Code. And here we have the QR code, but how can we scan it? I have already installed this extension and I can recommend it to you. So we can simply click here and it takes some time to process. And this is the URL that you can copy. So let's copy it and let's go to our preview tab and let's simply paste this one so that we have the Tag Manager preview together with the testing mode in TikTok. You can see here we have this test ID. And let's now make a test purchase. So we'll add our product to cart and let's place our order. And here we go. Now, if we go to the Events Manager, you can see the complete payment event. And if we click on it, you can see the parameters. Here we have the contents, we have the currency as well as value, and all those parameters are tracked correctly. So if you see this information, it means you set up everything correctly. Let's go to the Tag Manager preview and let's also double check here. Here we have the purchase event. You can see TikTok event purchase fired. Great! So if you see all this data, this means that you managed to set up your tracking correctly. But I forgot the most important step of the whole implementation. Do you know which one? We did not publish our GTM container. So let's go back to our Tag Manager and we have to click Submit. You can also provide the version name and let's click Publish. And here we go. Did you manage to configure TikTok event tracking with dynamic values? Let me know in the comment section. See you next time!